Well, hey, we are live. Good evening. I'm your host, Noel Clubb, here on the Clubb Tracks TV show. And welcome to Spanish Sports World Network on Zingo TV, channel 250. Please remember to download the Zingo TV app for respective iOS and Android app stores, as the app is absolutely free. And while you download, please make sure to rate and leave us a comment because we always want to hear from you folks. That's right, we sure do. And Zingo TV is also available on Google Chromecast, Amazon Fire, and Fire TV Sticks. Roku and Roku is also available on all smart TVs from 2016 forward. All right, folks. Welcome to viewers watching Clubb Tracks TV show around the world. Thank you for watching and thank you for joining us here on your Sunday evening. All right, it's that time to introduce my special co-host, co-anchor of the show, man. And of course, he's joining us live from the East Village of New York City. He's a solo artist. He released his latest album called Bodega Flowers. He's also a lead singer and a very, very powerful lead singer, folks, from the rock band of New York City, The Handful. Please welcome the one and the very only Mark, cool dude, Duda, to the show. Welcome, Mark.
Thank you, my brother.
How you
It's
doing,
been a
man?
couple weeks. Good to see you, man. And I'm psyched
too.
to have these guys on tonight. Awesome. The hard rocking stuff is, that speaks to
Our
where my
favorite.
heart's been at. Hey, shameless plug number one, as our generous host mentioned, I have a new record out. It's called Bodega Flowers.
Right here.
We charted as the number one new indie record on Amazon, and we've sold out a couple times there. So I understand folks are having trouble getting it. Yeah, there's the record.
There she is.
I have copies of the record and my T-shirts and the packages and everything else that are sold out from Amazon or on my Bandcamp. So if you guys are looking for a product, go to bandcamp.com/Mark Duda Music, and I promise I've got it all there for you. I'll sign it, whatever you're looking for, and I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to say that, because selling out is a good problem to have, right?
Yeah.
But it's still a problem, so I want to let folks know where they can get it. Right on. And speaking of new releases, man, why don't you go ahead and do the honors of introducing our guest tonight?
Well, thank you very much, sir. We'll do. But once again, folks, yeah, check it out. Mark Duda, Bodega Flowers. Oh, yeah, man. It's a great record itself, too. But yeah, onto another great record, another great band here on the show. So here we go. These folks are a rock metal band from Boston, Massachusetts. They've released their latest album, which is called As Above, So Below, in August this past year. So, folks, please welcome from Boston, Massachusetts, leaving Eden, we have Eric here on the show. So welcome, folks. Welcome to the show, guys. How you doing?
Great. How are you?
Eric and
Great.
Eve. Hey, guys.
Eric and Eve. There we are. So how's you guys doing this evening? How you doing?
Great.
How you doing, guys? How you doing? Excellent. Very good. So you guys, where are you from? Boston, Massachusetts, or are you guys from outside of Boston? Like, where's your origins for you two?
Yeah, now we're about 30. I could see every game from my apartment. In
Really?
Nice.
I'd have the half-eaten sausage sandwiches underneath my,
You're missing the Rat Skeller, right, man? We used to love playing the Rat when we came up there.
Awesome. Yeah, and
Paradise.
We've been loving
Paradise, right on.
Love it.
Arlene's Groceries. Cool venue.
Yeah, right on. You mentioned that. And all these like places where, like CB's used to be, Arlene's around now. We're talking about the Rat. Like all these places, man, they're it's important for the cities to hold on to at least a few of those over the years, right?
Absolutely.
Just a great place for creative folks.
Yeah. We got to play CB's.
CBGBs.
Awesome.
Oh, really? Cool. Very cool.
Yeah, it was so cool.
Yeah.
The bathroom was disgusting, though.
No, it's
legendary.
Well,
that's
legendary.
the thing. It is disgusting, but it's legendary and disgusting. Yes.
Yeah.
It was definitely disgusting, and people get surprised, like, oh God, there's no like doors on the toilets, and like backstage is like somebody's car seat that was taken out of the back of like a busted up car, and it was a dump, but it was our dump,
That's right. Yeah.
An iconic film with that too. Iconic film.
Shameless plug.
You got it. That's the word, brother.
So, guys, tell us how you guys meet and how you guys form Leaving Eden?
Oh my gosh.
Well,
yeah,
yeah.
memories. Eh?
myself, even Rick, we had a band before Leaving Eden, the bass player. And then later down the line, Jake on the drums, the position was there, and he jumped on it. Us and the keyboard player, and she sings too. She saw us at a venue, like, I want to be in the band. I play keyboard. And I said, all right.
Right
Cool.
on.
Follow
Oh, very
through,
good.
which is very cool. Yeah.
Very cool.
And
Those were
we
back in...
naming
Go ahead. Sorry.
the naming of the band, Eric and I were going because we were, what was it before, 7? We were called 7.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah. I don't even know. And it was an East of Eden poster on the wall. And I'm like, why not Eden? Cool. I'm like, why not Eden? And of course, that was taken somewhere. So we went back and forth and we decided on Leaving Eden because
I like that even better. I dig the name.
Yeah, right on. Agreed.
Yeah, well, with the way things
it was a cool movie back in
this...
the day, though. It's a cool movie back in the day, East of Eden.
Right?
James Dean. Yeah, I totally agree.
Wouldn't it be
That's
nice to go somewhere else for a little bit?
No, very good, guys. So, who are your biggest influences for you guys growing up and the music scene? Who inspired you guys the most, musically speaking?
Black Sabbath, Richie Blackmore. We got to play with Black Sabbath. We got to play.
That's right, you did.
Before Ronnie James Dio died, which was surreal. Yeah,
very surreal.
Richie Blackmore. I listened to every stuff when I was a kid, and I just everything.
You guitar Simon player, Eric?
Garfunkel.
Very cool.
You guitar player, Eric?
I am. Yes, I am.
Okay, and Eve, what do you do in the band?
Vocals.
Okay.
I play drums.
I thought it was cool
I
that
make pretend I play drums. I make pretend I play drums.
Okay. No, I thought it was cool that you have several folks that can sing, right? And you've leveraged that, and you've got the male side and the female vocals, and your music, not just as a result of that, but partially is pretty diverse within that sort of, right? So it's always hard to put a label on your music, right? So yeah. I guess why don't we start with this? No, we asked people, if somebody hadn't heard your music before and you had to describe it to somebody, how would you do that?
Oh my gosh.
Right?
Tough question. I know.
Well,
I know.
You know what? Like for me, it's story, right? The story of what you're putting out there always captured me. Any music that I loved is the story. It gives you an emotion, and you're gonna hear a story, whether it's musically or actual words. Mm-hmm. And we have melodic stuff, but you get categorized as metal or hard rock or this or that, but we like all of it. Yeah. Everything. So a little touch of everything that we enjoy.
That's good. Good. That's what I say too.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Great answer.
Like that was off the cuff. All right.
Very good. Right on. Well, right on. Well, guys, you like what's for Boston, like as far as like a music scene is concerned, like what's it like in Boston when it comes to in terms of like rock music and the scene itself? What's it Boston like?
I think that we create our own scenes here in New England. So we kind of bring it to the places. It's really not like, a long time ago where you'd have a band playing in a single night, and the scenes, right?
Yeah.
I mean, in Manhattan, what was it? There's so many places we played there, which was great. I loved it, but I haven't been there with the pandemic, so I don't know what the scene's like now in Manhattan.
Getting back there.
Yeah. I feel like it's getting back here. All that a lot more people are starting to come out for live music again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I think because they want to be out. They want to be out and they want to be doing what they want.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
absolutely.
I think it's
right.
really cool. I mean, it's a tight knit group. It's cool. It's all good. I love it all.
Yeah, right on, right on. So it comes like you guys did your first record in 2011, Tied and Bound. So how did the first record come about? How did you guys actually come in terms of writing it, getting signed, getting released? How did it all unfold for you guys? The first record came out, Tied and Bound.
Record. We went to Chicago to record.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I wrote the songs and we put it together.
I don't even remember. It feels like so long ago.
You know that we weren't signed when we released that album, and then we
Re-released it.
God,
Okay.
yeah, that worked. Yeah, with our label now, Doc, we get the Sony and Universal for worldwide distribution.
Yeah,
right.
So, but yeah, that was I think it was a great album. I love it.
No kidding, it's a great record. Great.
But the production, I feel like the production on all of our, we have 12, 11.
We have 12, but there's one coming out very soon. Actually,
wow.
that's a re-release. Yeah, album that was only out for a very short time, so nobody's seen it.
So this one here,
the new one.
There's sort of a consistent, there's a consistent look to your records, right?
There is,
I've noticed that. What about the music?
Yes.
How's your music changed over the years?
I think that it's changed.
Or has it? Just trying to figure out if the band has evolved musically at all, or did you guys sort of figure out what you wanted to be?
The song, the single "Green," for instance, that song was written a long time ago, released for the first time off of this album here. So, that song didn't change, right, when it was originally written. But yeah, of course, we look at time.
I think musically, everyone has blossomed.
Everybody gets better in time, I guess.
Yeah, they'll evolve. Yeah,
you would hope. You would hope.
Are you guys like trained musicians? Are you guys like Berkeley guys, or did you study, or I'm a self-taught guy. I mean, it takes all types, but just kind of wondering what your backgrounds are.
You go ahead first.
I college, but I didn't go to Berkeley or anything like that.
Okay.
And pretty much self-taught. Always reading books and stuff. So.
Well, and YouTube. Hello, you can learn anything on YouTube.
That's true.
For myself, I as a kid, do you guys know what drum corps is?
Yeah.
You do. All right. So I did that. I played soprano horn. I played for a little while, and always performed. Did dance and it just evolved.
Right.
I always loved singing, so I think I always sang. And here we are.
Yeah, no kidding. Here we are.
Very cool.
Yeah, speaking about the song, you guys mentioned the song "Green." I love that track off the new record. So, how that song? What was kind of inspiration behind that song? How's it written? And can we share more about behind the story behind that song for us?
Well, it was. I think it was a little prophetic because, like I said, it was written a long time ago, and it's the title of the song "Green," and the sky turned green in the distance of. It just felt like I had to write it. I didn't know why, because I wasn't really connecting. I was as I do now, so I was kind of just beginning to connect. I knew that I should write it, and then I don't know, a few months ago, there I seen it. It was a green, some state in the
I think
United
it
States.
was South Dakota.
Yeah, and the pictures of
Oh,
the
really?
sky was affirmation to
No
that,
kidding.
you know, we can tap into the future, as long as you pay attention,
Well put.
you know. See, is that
So there's a
sounds.
sign. There's a sign right there to release that song right on the new record. Sign from
Yeah.
above, literally from above. Yeah, right on. Now, in terms of, I guess, another song on the record too, on your new record, is that you actually have a John Lennon cover on the song on the record, "Working Class
Right
Hero."
on.
So, what was the inspiration behind taking on that single from John Lennon's classic collection and add it onto your record? What was the inspiration behind that song for you guys?
Do you want the truth?
Yeah, please do lay it on us. Please do.
Kind of that same scenario there, that, you know, we should cover this song because it was only an acoustic version that John Lennon overwhelmed, like John Lennon would like this song to be recorded with a full band. This orchestration going on in the background, but to do it with guitars and bass, by the way.
Mhm.
Listen close.
It reminded me of
together.
Floyd a little bit. The treatment
did.
you guys
Yeah.
gave. It was like a Floydy treatment. I dug it, dude.
Yeah, it was
Cool,
really good.
cool.
Great.
Nice.
But wouldn't you know? So I did it. I just felt like the overwhelm. After we recorded and everything, I was watching on YouTube, and asked him where his songwriting came from, and he said that basically it comes from people that have passed. He was just like an open conduit to it, so he was just there to get it, to receive it.
Right.
Yeah,
That's a
We
very
hear a lot of folks
generous
kind of
response.
come on the show and say that. And I remember Tom Petty saying that too. Like, the songs are all out there already. I just
Me
kind of
too.
find them. And as a
Yeah.
songwriter, I kind of feel that way myself as well, right?
Yeah.
You feel
Yeah.
like you're the conduit. It was a good word because it's true. And that maybe it's coming from somewhere else, right?
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Are you guys
Yeah, 'cause we're
consider yourself spiritual or religious or any, what's that part of your life like?
not religious, but
Spiritual, for
spiritual.
sure. Yeah.
So no organized
Absolutely.
religion, but you guys definitely have, you know, because there seems like there's a spiritual element to some of the tunes. Like, I kind of felt that way in Green a little bit.
Yeah. Well put.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is it? We're for
you.
salvation. I would found.
There you go. Oops, we lost them. Hopefully we'll
We
get them
lost
back
them. Oh
quick.
no. We lost them in the ether
know,
too.
As I was listening to that, I don't know what you thought of, dude, but I was thinking, like, because it was so diverse, at times I was like, okay, this reminds me of Faith No More, or this reminds
Yeah.
me of what's Mike Portnoy's band?
Oh yeah.
Dream Theater, you know, or like
right on, man.
hearing sort of different things like that in there. And even the album itself, all of a sudden you have a song like, I mean, it was a song called Stoner, was totally out of left field, you know?
Yeah, right on.
So we were just saying, we heard a little Faith No More, we heard a little Dream Theater, what
rock.
bands are you guys listening to? Does that make sense to you?
Oh, you guys hear us?
You're muted.
Oh, you guys hear us at all? Let me get your volume up. Get your mic on. The joys of live TV, folks. That's what this is.
That's right.
Which is a weekly occurrence on our show.
I mean, what were you thinking, Noel? Did you hear kind of what I was hearing there while
I
they
did.
get their audio?
Yeah, very to me, it's actually a prog rock feel to at times, like you're saying earlier about the Pink Floyd inspiration there. I felt that too. I'd hear that too in the music, and of course I love the heaviness of it all too. But going into like a little more experimental areas, I mean, I've always enjoyed that. We're taking some risks, take some chances.
Yeah.
I love
And now
that.
I'm hearing the Blackmore thing, and it's funny because, you know, like, Bobby's our friend. He's been on the show, and
Yeah,
Bobby played with Richie and Rainbow, and I
That's
remember him telling me, like, Richie likes to be high up in the mix, but he said he'd never heard him have a bad show. And he said Richie never had a bad night all the time he played with him. So
it's pretty amazing to think that, right? All those years of playing, and you just never Never one bad night. That's pretty.
Doing 100 to 200 shows a year and
A
saying
year.
Richie's
Exactly.
never had a bad night, which is
Exactly.
pretty remarkable. So
Very remarkable.
Hey,
Absolutely.
Eric, you set the bar high as when you mentioned somebody like Richie Blackmore. It's very cool. You don't hear his name mentioned, I don't think, enough.
I was going to say, it's well put. It's not mentioned nearly enough. You're so true about that. No, very true. And actually, I always think about Richie Blackmore. I still think that 1974 performance he had on at the U.S. concert. It's a big summer festival show. Where he had like instant with the cameraman with his guitar.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's going to a solo, and the guy's like in his face with his camera.
And he is
like,
kind of a cranky guy. I mean, that's him. Like,
get on my
space.
But get on my space. Yeah.
That's funny. It's funny. So I'm not sure. Again, like you said, joys of live TV. Hopefully,
Will they come back? Will they come back? We don't know. We'll hang around. Hopefully, they'll come back for some more. Oh,
yeah.
Might be a chance right here, right now. Let's see.
I don't know. We just can't hear your audio.
Yeah, we need your audio. We need your audio. Yeah, we'll try again as always. That's what we do best. Forging ahead. That's what we do.
Yeah, maybe we'll get through kind of the introduction a little bit more here. So you guys, guys, we're talking with Leaving Eden, band out of Boston. And I think they mentioned they've got like 11 records out or something like that.
Yeah,
crazy productive band.
Very productive.
And I was looking at your questions, Noel, and basically the band's got some history in terms of opening up for Sabbath, Alice Cooper.
Huge.
Yeah, you gotta wonder what it's like to be in a band that's sort of looking to establish themselves, and that's such a great opportunity. And at the same time, it's scary as shit.
No kidding, right?
Especially with I've seen Alice Cooper he talk about not having a bad night. I've seen him a million times. He's great every night. Fantastic. He's got a crackerjack band. Every time you see him,
Absolutely.
And I could imagine that the challenge of opening for somebody like that,
no pressure there at all, right?
Well, especially when you get these bands that have been around for a while, like you and I know, like we go to a concert, like I'm interested in who the opening acts are. Like that's how I get in. That's how I get, I get introduced to a lot of new and up and coming bands who maybe they're not getting on the radio yet or anything, but maybe they're, one or two bands deep in a bill like that. And, whether it's, seeing, Bullet for My Valentine open, like the first band out of 6 on a bill with, Iron Maiden, or I remember coming across, I always liked Helix. That's a Canadian band.
Oh, right on. I love Helix. Yeah.
And I never would have seen them if they didn't come to New Jersey and open for Rush,
Wow.
So I think opening on those tours is such a wonderful opportunity, to all of a sudden be put in front of a bunch of like-minded people,
Absolutely.
I'd love to find out from these guys how that happened, how they got on those tours. No, unfortunately, we can't hear you. And
sorry, guys.
These guys have been gracious enough to stay with us, even though their audio's down. Yeah. And we're, of course, talking about Leaving Eden now, and their new record that's out. As Above, So Below. Cool title also.
Yeah, exactly. Great artwork, great title, and a great album. Fantastic stuff. Yeah, absolutely. Hopefully we try again. Hopefully we get our audio back on as soon as possible, because we'd love to talk to them a little bit more about this new record and what they're up to, and of course live shows, what's happening there coming up, and so we'll keep trying again, get them back on the air with full audio. That'd be great.
Well, travel is kind of hairy now, right? Because you get a sense like different countries are still handling this different ways.
Quite differently, correct. Around the world, you're right.
You know, so I'm not sure what it's like if if I were to try. Actually, another friend of the show, Willie Nile, he was just up in Canada, so I guess we're cool in terms of Americans being able to go up there and tour.
Yeah. Well, North America is kind of slowly getting back on track, right? North America, both Canada, US are kind of slowly on the same page. It comes like live events is concerned. So yeah, it's coming back slowly but surely here too. Yeah.
It's tough. You
Go ahead.
have bands that are more like studio projects or, that sell a lot of merch. And, it's kind of okay for those people. But the folks that really have to be live and really kill it at the merch table at the shows or, need to sell tickets, man, the last 3 years has just been brutal.
Oh, tough,
I mean,
right?
and I think, just like your local, pizza shop goes out of business because, there are bands that are really struggling or bands that I haven't heard from since before the pandemic. So it's okay, I can tell at least these guys when we're talking about Leaving Eden, they're a prolific band. They do a lot of recording. And so at least there was that outlet for these guys.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. No, totally agreed. Totally agreed. And you're right. I mean, it's a lot of records they put out since 2011. It's a lot of music that they've released, which is very diligent for any band or artist, to say the least.
Yeah. So Eric, maybe you can even nod on this one. Are you the primary songwriter in the band? Okay. Yep. Cool.
Excellent.
Lyrics and music, you write, brother? Okay.
Yep.
Very cool. Oh, sometimes that, I always think of, we talked about Rush a little bit earlier, but I always think of them as sort of being the exception to the rule where you've got the drummer writing the lyrics, right? Typically.
Isn't that so true, right? I mean, you're so right about that. You have the great Geddy Lee and Alex doing all the music, and of course the musical direction, and you got the lyric content come from Neil. I mean, it was great trio there, and of course sharing responsibility comes to songwriting credits. So it's never an issue. Comes to who's getting paid for what. So
well, that's true. And the band that gets paid together stays together, right?
That's right.
One
exactly
of the,
right.
So,
saves a lot of fights for the future, right? When they do that, so it's very, very smart. A lot of ways.
I've been in situations too where that's where it's you have folks that everybody's working just as hard, but somebody tends to write the music. And the way I've always done that, if I'm playing in a band and I write all the songs, and this is my decision, so not throwing anybody else on the bus, but I always split it equally as far as sales on the record go. Now, if somebody covers a song that I wrote with their band or something else, well, I own the publishing to that. But in terms of splitting what we make off the record, we've always said, look, there's 4 dudes in the band, we're splitting it 4 ways.
Right on.
And sometimes it's really more like 25% and nothing is still nothing, right?
Well, at least it's shared now, so it kind of takes that the whole fight right out of the equation. So
yeah, it does, but I mean, it's important that sort of everybody feels valuable, right? And there's no way to get around it if only one guy is getting paid, So
correct.
Yeah, I don't know how we got there, but we got there.
We got there. Well, I even think of Cream too. I mean, a lot of fights going on. The band Cream with Eric Clapton and Jack Bruce and Ginger Baker. A lot of fights going on for decades afterwards because of the songwriting not being shared and so forth. Well, I wrote that bit. No, I wrote this bit. Yeah, so it's very unfortunate to see it happen. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Clapton,
of course, being the only guy that's in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame 3 times.
Good point.
He's in as a member of the Yardbirds. He's in as a member of Cream, and he's in as a solo artist.
That's right.
I was thinking about the other day where I felt like they kind of screwed Neil Young a little bit because he's in twice, but that's because they put Crosby, Stills, and Nash in, but not Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Young.
Young, right? That's a good point. That's a good point. Never mind. Plus, he was in Buffalo, Springfield before all of that, right?
That's for what it's worth. Absolutely.
For what it's worth.
Yes, Steve Stills is Right. That's Steve Stills and Neil Young. So
That's right. Yeah, what a line that was. What a great band that was.
I read something recently that now we're on talking about. I think it was Neil Young. I think was in a band called the Minor Birds with
Yes,
Rick James.
that's correct. He was.
With Rick James, who you think like, wow, how did these guys paths
So
cross? You
different.
know,
Yeah, so different.
and I'd love to hear what they did. I mean, Rick's a great bass player. Who knows what that was like, right? But that's always a trip when you hear something like that, you know.
Exactly. Do we have audio back here? Do we have Eric's audio back? Or let's see here. Eric, can you hear us at all?
You have? How about?
Oh, there we go.
Check.
There's success right there.
All right.
Excellent. Excellent. Very
Is
good.
Mercury
Very
still
good.
in retrograde? Is Mercury still in retrograde?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Oh, Mercury in retrograde, is it still?
Yeah, I don't know a whole lot about that stuff.
Yeah, Mercury no longer. Yeah, Mercury's no longer, but yeah. And Mercury was really good.
I'm
Mercury
sorry about that.
Oh, did we lose your audio again?
I'm here.
No.
All right, cool. All right, let's hit it. We got back to the script now. I appreciate everybody sticking with us through the technical problems. Again, we're here with Leaving Eden. Just a fantastic, innovative, heavy rock band out of Boston. And I respect these guys too much to start bad mouthing the Red Sox, no matter how bad I want to do it.
No, that's religion right there.
Isn't that rock and roll though? The show must go on.
The show must go on. You got it.
That's right.
That's right.
Yeah.
You got it. That's our mantra too here on the show. With all of our problems comes to the ether world and connecting issues. The show must go on. So true. So true. Well, hey, now we got you back on the show. So you guys, any big shows coming up? Any kind of big live concerts, a tour coming up? What's happening in the live show department?
Yeah, we're going on. Pardon me. We're going on tour down south.
Couple days.
For the U.S.
Yeah, U.S. Good old USA, and we'll be down in Florida, and things will be okay. We'll see.
Everything's good.
Are you opening for somebody, or is it you guys headlining? What's the deal with the shows?
It's just us. It's just us.
Yeah.
Cool. Any places you've been before? Are you visiting some cities for the first time? What's the itinerary like?
We've been down there. We've been in all the cities that we hit too. So, I mean, we were right. That's so sad. So ridiculous.
Fort Myers.
Bike Week is down there. Well, Biketober Fest. So
just devastation. It seems like year after year after year, man. I just, don't really know what to say. But yeah, things have been rough down there the last week or two for sure.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Now, you guys, I mean, I know you mentioned Richie Blackmore. We're talking about him for a while. There's definitely that, you guys have your hooks in there for sure, but there is sort of also like a progressive leaning. Does anybody have a background or a fandom for any of the more progressive bands like from the 70s?
Probably.
ELP, Deep Purple, yes, that stuff speak to you guys.
All of the above. Yeah.
I
like it all. It's, I don't know.
Well, like you said before, your music is really a combination of everything you've ever heard and liked, right? So, which makes sense. It seems
to come from somewhere else. It seems like come from that net, something happened to you because you're a songwriter. So you hear the song in your mind, you can hear it, right? The whole song, you can hear the production, you can hear the lyrics.
Yeah.
You know,
Which
so
is, it
and it's
makes
your
it
job
difficult.
to put it.
Sometimes I think it's a challenge when you have a complete vision for a song like that, just communicating it to the rest of the musicians you're working with without having them taking it and running off in another direction. I mean, sometimes you're pleasantly surprised, and sometimes it's like, fuck, you're not listening to me. You know? So what about like Desert Island type discs? What are some of your favorite records, both of you guys?
Go, you,
first.
me, favorite all time?
Yeah, a
Mhm.
couple of like Desert Island discs. Again, you're stranded on a desert island. You
can't
can
live
grab
without
like a few records. What are you
I have to
taking
have
with you?
some Janis Joplin. I gotta have Janis Joplin.
Sweet. Okay.
And Heart, of course.
Oh,
Of course,
yes.
Heart. Yeah, right on, right on. Yeah.
Janis Joplin, Heart. I gotta throw in. I know this is gonna a little and I don't know which one. I don't even know. It's like really old. It's stuff I think my. Hey, do you guys know I'm from Canada, right? Originally,
No, I didn't know that.
I didn't
Whereabouts?
know that.
in,
Nope.
Whereabouts?
Quebec. I have a
Look at that.
ton, like so much. Who else?
Yeah, I went to one of her family reunions. Believe me, it's a big family.
I love that.
It's a beautiful place, Quebec. It's beautiful.
That's what's important. Yeah.
All of Canada. Who else? I mean,
All right, so we got a little Heart, we got some Janis, and so I imagine that's where you're pulling some of your vocal influences from. That makes sense.
yeah, absolutely. Desert Island. Who else? ELO.
I can dig
Yeah.
that. That's a little bit of a
Yeah.
prog influence too,
Yeah.
but super
How about the
hooky,
Bee?
right? Huh?
How about the Bee Gees? Old Bee Gees.
Bee
Oh,
Gees
Bee
is
Gees.
great, man. I
Yeah,
love
right
the
on.
Bee
Yeah.
Gees.
We like the Bee Gees too.
And
Yeah.
even like their last album, I think This Is Just Where I Came In. That's a great song. I mean, listen, I think Barry Gibb's a genius. They all were, but he's he's an iconic songwriter, man.
Yeah. No kidding.
Yeah.
No doubt. What about? I mean, you mentioned Sabbath. What are some of the Sabbath albums that you like?
Sabotage.
Yeah.
Nice.
That was a good, great one. Yeah.
Did like the the Ronnie James Dio, Heaven and Hell.
Heaven and Hell, Mob
Heaven and Hell.
Rules.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
really love Born Again. I think Born Again is a masterpiece, and it's the only album with Ian Gillan. And like, that's such a polarizing album that we could probably do a whole show on that, where like, it's a special album. It's not, but I always thought that was a great record. But yeah, I think Tony Iommi, I think is a genius. I think he's probably the most influential guitar player there's been. Yeah, okay, can't go wrong with Sabbath, and it's interesting because a lot of
Nope.
people will either say the Ozzy stuff or the Dio stuff. They like it. Sounds like you like it all. I do also.
I have another one. I have another
Yeah. What's
one.
that?
All right. So Rod Stewart.
Oh yeah.
Oh, right on.
All right. Because
His
you know
debut,
what, like when
his
he
debut record?
did. I mean, I'll just listen to Rod Stewart. It's just awesome. I love it. It's just older stuff, and then when he remade all of the old school song, "Wonderful World," he remade that. I love
Some
that. I love
standards.
that.
He did some
stuff.
Motown shit, some Isley Brothers. He did.
Yeah, that's
Um,
right.
He has a tremendous sort of natural voice, right? Like nobody would train to sound like that.
I
That's just
know.
he's gifted, right? And
Yeah.
right. He sounds like he smokes 2 packs a day, but he's sounded like that for 50 years.
Yeah.
Very true. Very
And
true.
of course, we got it in there too. We have to.
Yeah.
Zeppelin.
Yeah, his voice got tons of personality. I like singers like that too.
Yeah.
I would say one of my favorite singers is Ian Astbury from the Cult. I love how
Yeah.
he sings, and
Yeah.
he's pitchy live, and it bothers some people. Doesn't bother me. I think I think that's where it's at. I think it's okay to be pitchy sometimes. I think blue notes are okay. I don't think so. Speaking of that, how do you guys feel about Pro Tools versus, maybe an older school type of recording? Do you use modern technology like Pro Tools? What do you like about it? What don't you like about it? That kind of stuff.
Well, I like listening to these music that was recorded, because you can hear the drums and the real sound of the bass. And by the way, you can really always hear the bass, like but even the old dance stuff,
Yeah.
and in there, and it seems deeper. It's got this deepness to the analog. With the Pro Tools, I mean, of course, you can do a lot more and everything. We recorded this in the last so many albums. We've recorded with Johnny K, and she did The Sickness, Disturbed, and he did so many songs.
Oh, cool.
So
It's a modern sounding record, which is cool.
Yeah, it is.
This one is recorded in off to Bob St. John down in Florida, and he does the finishing touches and mastering.
I'd like to do analog though.
I mean, yeah, if one could afford to have a beautiful with tape, I mean, when you can go get those recordings, absolutely.
Yeah, it's the way to go for sure.
We had a chance with my band, The Handful, the last record we made, which isn't out yet. We had a chance to use this clasp system, it's Pro Tools in conjunction with like 1/2-inch reel-to-reel tape. And so It's cool because you can get sort of that, you can get all that warmth and stuff, but also have the capability to use Pro Tools to do a tough punch or something that's harder to do with tape. So It was kind of best of both worlds. But yeah, it wasn't cheap. But I know what you're saying. And I think, particularly with some of the older stuff, I think if an album was recorded at a time when it was intended to be heard on vinyl, then I think that's where it sounds best,
Yeah, agreed.
Right. Yeah.
Absolutely. It's like having the band right in front of you, live in your living room was so clear and so crystal sharp.
Yeah, absolutely. Can you guys describe for us sort of like the rest of your lineup? Who does what? Are there any differences in the way you perform live versus who's on the album? Just give us a personnel rundown.
Well, we got Jake on, and then
Rick on the bass, and Alyssa, she sings, and Rick does some singing too. I do some singing, as you know.
We all do.
Yeah. Alyssa is starting to write some songs as well. Wrote.
Cool.
I don't
know on this album.
You guys have kind of an open, like, is everybody welcome to bring their ideas to the band, and everybody feels welcome doing that?
Yeah.
Awesome.
And I think that's important, right? I think that's important.
Yeah. Even those songs, because I get them down. I may write the songs because I get them down with scratch track. Everybody brings their own magic kind of into it, and yeah, the rest is.
When you get the idea for the song,
I do want to get your album though. I'm very interested in hearing it.
Very cool.
Yeah,
very cool.
Right on. I've got 5 albums with The Handful. I've got a solo album I just released. I got an album with Rome, Italy-based Mad City Rockers, and I'm singing for a contemporary metal band now called August Fire. So I always have lots of stuff going on. My solo album is very much traditional rock. It's not heavy, but it is the type of songs that my bands wouldn't have done. They would have told me to get lost. It's much closer to something like Rod Stewart or the Rolling Stones than it is to Black Sabbath. But I don't know. I find I write all different kind of songs, right? And so they don't always suit my band.
Right.
Do you find that, Eric, as well? I mean, you have stuff, or does everything you write kind of fit somewhere into Leaving Eden?
No, yeah, I think you're right. And like I wrote a country song.
Cool.
Oh, yeah.
Love it.
And it was complete and it was finished, so I wrote it. Not that the band would ever play, but it's there.
Right.
And I got it.
You never know.
Well, it's a cool story. It really is.
No kidding. It is a cool story. It is. It is. Absolutely.
No, we will never ever play it. Sure, I'll sell it.
It's like,
Actually,
hey,
it
kids,
was- I-
here you
it was-
go, country song for you. Right on. I can get that. Before we're on time, I was going to ask you guys before we got cut off earlier because we were talking about how you guys open up for like Black Sabbath and Alice Cooper, and Mark and I are big fans of both those bands too. So maybe it's going to go on towards like Alice Cooper. You guys get a chance to actually meet with Alice Cooper, and if you did, like, what was it like? And can I give you guys really cool advice along the way?
Love that.
All right. So can I just tell you, it was probably one of my utmost favorite performances I've ever. Just because it was theater at the same time as gas rock band.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just epic. It was really cool. And that's what I would envision. I would want to do on a huge stage with, no.
Yeah. I mean, he hung himself on stage.
Yeah. It was so cool.
Right.
We did.
Yeah, it's so cool. So cool he does that.
Unfortunately, we weren't able to, hang. I don't, when you're out on the road, you're playing shows. I don't like. I know rock and roll people is not glamorous.
Right.
You
agreed.
You are your ass off, right? And these people need their
the road
space.
certainly isn't glamorous.
Hard work.
Yeah. So, to me, just being able to be there with them, we meet some of the other, and everyone has been, I'd say 98% of the people that we've met have been cool people.
Yeah.
It's great to hear. I think there really still is a sense of community among the bands.
Yeah. Well put.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Got killed. We got to play with him, his brother, and a singer from Stone Temple Pilots.
Yeah.
We played with before he passed
Scott
away.
Weiland?
Before Scott Weiland passed away?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really? Wow, that's a wower.
That's
a real
interesting, dude.
Fantastically interesting guy.
So those are those moments could never happen.
Again, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
So I cherish those moments.
Yeah. Amen. You should. Yep.
Yeah.
Well put. There's another great band when they're around.
For all of us. Oh yeah. For all of our stuff, you can go to Leaving Eden. All the information's there. All the websites. I mean.
All right, you got the .com,
media.
leavingeden.com.
Yeah. So, and our tour schedules there. I think I just booked 30 dates for next year, just in one day.
That's awesome.
Wow.
So they go up. They get earlier each year.
I know.
It's crazy.
You guys get to New York, I imagine, then.
Oh, like I said, we have played quite a few times in New York, but not in a few years. And I would love to play with you.
Yeah.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, that would be cool.
There you go,
You
Mark.
guys can come play with us if you want. Yeah.
Love
Just
that.
start our
Oh,
own
that'd be awesome.
tour.
Oh, that'd be so awesome. Man.
Make it happen. Clubb Tracks
Yeah.
tour. No,
Let's
but
make it
absolutely
happen.
we could make it happen. Yeah. One of the things I love about this show is meeting my fellow artists every week and listening to some new music that I may not have heard otherwise. And it's really rewarding. As Noel will tell you, we're not getting rich doing this, but
Not at all.
But it is rewarding for those reasons.
Absolutely. Sure. True. So true. And yeah, I get a chance to talk with you guys here tonight. I mean, this is a great conversation we had tonight. Unfortunately, we got cut off there earlier, but
yeah,
great talk with you guys.
Sorry.
Really fantastic. It's okay. It's not your fault.
No worries. We'll get you back on, and we'll, but
Yeah.
it's been an absolute pleasure. And again, I love the record, guys. As above, so below.
So below.
You like modern rock, you like hard rock, interesting blend of vocals and instrumentation. Awesome. Definitely check these guys out. Well worth it.
Absolutely. So you heard it here from folks. Check out Leaving Eden, the new record. It's a great record, folks. Excellent record. And one more time, where can they check you out again, guys? One more time.
Eden.com.
Excellent. Excellent. We love to have guys back on the show again real soon, eh? Oh, sorry?
I was just saying.
There it is. As
Don't
above,
mind.
There it is. There
so
it is.
below. Right there, guys.
As above, so below, right there.
Right on. Right on. Well, hey, guys, a real pleasure. Thanks for joining us here on the show. And again, we'll bug you to get back to the show again real soon because this is a really great conversation with you guys. Fantastic one. So I want to thank Eric and Eve over from
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Stay in touch. Awesome, guys.
And thanks to my co-host, my co-anchor, Mark Duda over in New York. It's always a pleasure. Always a great hangout with this guy. Always, always, always. Pleasure, and of course, his record too, by the way, folks. Bodega Flowers. Check it out. Check it out. And there it is again. And of course, Leaving Eden. Thanks again, guys. And of course, thank you. Check out Zingo TV for all the news. Watch it, hear it, read it, download it, live it. Hey, folks, love it. We'll see you again real soon. Thanks again. Take care. All the best.